Hey everybody, welcome to our 100th episode of 14 Rings and NFC East Podcast. Woo woo! And if you guys haven't noticed yet, we do have a special guest, Chatting with Cheeze here. Cheeze is the host of the Chatting with Cheeze Podcast. You can find that on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Cheeze, thank you for coming on. You are a general sports guy, but if you look at his hat, you can see that he is with Earl on that Dallas Cowboys energy, and that's okay.
DC
But we still appreciate you being here. And last week we did our QB rankings. This week, Cheeze, are you ready to do our number one wide receiver rankings?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
I'm ready for it too. So here's how we're going to do it, Cheeze. We're going to do it by tiers. So first we're going to do 32 through 28. You're going to go first each round. And then it's going to be Mal, me, Maurice, Earl. And that's how we're going to do it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So anyway, Cheeze, you want to talk about your podcast real quick before we get started, just to let people know where they can, obviously I just told them where they can find you, but just give them a little bit more insight about what you do.
Yeah. First and foremost, like I said before, I told you guys off camera, I'm going to tell you guys on, I appreciate y'all for bringing me on the pod. This is my first feature pod, jumping on anybody else's podcast. So I appreciate y'all for reaching out to me and inviting me on. Second of all, yes, you can find me on Instagram at Chatting with Cheeze Pod, on TikTok at Chatting with Cheeze Pod, and also on YouTube, just Chatting with Cheeze on YouTube. I talk about all sports. I cover everything. Yes, I am a diehard Cowboys fan, but it's not just Cowboys. It's covering all sports, all major news, and I also drop interviews and things of that nature. So take the time out, look me up, and hope you guys enjoy.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I've been following you on TikTok for a while now. That's how we reached out.
I appreciate it. You too. I've been following you guys too.
Yeah. So, wide receivers. We're doing number one wide receiver for each team in the NFL. So this was a little tricky for me. I'm not going to lie. I had to look up a few depth charts to figure out who was the number one on some teams.
Yeah.
But I figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm still not 100% sure on some of these. So if we got different ones, that's okay. That's just how it is. So, Cheeze, 32 through 28, who you got?
All right, so at number 32, even though I feel like this is liable to change maybe in the middle or towards the end of the season, I went with Carolina Panthers Xavier Legette. I believe that by the end of the year, Tedero McMillan more than likely will probably end up being a number one. But if you look on the depth chart right now, they have Xavier Legette as the number one guy. Last year, 49 receptions, 497 yards with 4 touchdowns. I definitely believe that going into the year, they're going to have probably the worst wide receiver core. But we just got to see what Ted McMillan do throughout the season. 31, I went Juwan Jennings from the 49ers. Now
you got him over Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, I think so. What I went off of was coming off of last year. So I know Ayuk is their number one, but he's coming off an injury. So
a little production.
Yeah, I went with Juwan Jennings, but I already know going into the year that Brandon Ayuk is more than likely going to be their number one. That's really why I got him slotted at 31 because Juwan Jennings, I had him as their number one guy. So I went with him at 31. Last year, 77 receptions, 975 yards with 6 touchdowns. I'm not going to be long-winded. I just think that, honestly, quiet is kept. The fan base may don't know, but I believe that the 49ers are in a quiet rebuild. I think that they are. Yeah. I think they slowly throwing everything up. I honestly think they're going to look to move Brandon Ayuk at some point. I don't know if during the season or they're going to
bring him to DC.
Yeah, I think that's going to end up
in your dreams.
Yeah,
you can't
never say never.
So I went with him at 31. At 30, and the only reason now these two next guys that I got. So I went with Rashee Rice, Kansas City Chiefs at 30. And the only reason I went him at 30, and I struggled with that one, is just because injury. We know last year before the ACL injury, he was looking solid. Like he was looking like, honestly, a top 10 receiver in the league before being injured last year. So that's the only reason why I got him slated down.
I didn't have him much lower either. I'm much higher either. So I got you.
I went Rashee Rice at 30. Now this might shock y'all, 29. But this is also due to injury. I went Chris Olave.
I understand it.
Yeah. Now, if these guys are not injured, I believe that they're much higher. I definitely have a much higher on my list. And at 28, my last one before I pass it off, I compared 28 to 32. I got Jaden Reed of the Green Bay Packers, but that's only, I believe, by the end of the year or middle of the end of the year, Matthew Golden is going to be the number one guy over
Okay.
there. But if you look up on their depth chart, and you'll see that people have Jaden Reed slotted as their number one receiver. So that's my 32 through 28. So Xavier Legette, Juwan Jennings, Rashee Rice, Chris Olave, and Jaden Reed.
All right, Matt. What about you? Who you got?
Yeah, so number 32, I agree with Cheese here. I had Xavier Legette. I do think that Tet McMillan may take over that wide receiver one spot at the end of the season, but he already went into it, so I don't want to describe it too much. 31, I actually also had Rashee Rice due to injury.
Okay.
30, I had Jaden Reed also, but completely agree with you there. 29, I had Keon Coleman from the Bills.
Okay.
Is he their number one, or is Khalil Shareef? Shakur.
Yeah, that's who I had.
That's who I had too.
I had Keon Coleman, but yeah, I mean, that's who I had at number 29. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading my list. Oh, and number 28, I had Calvin Ridley from the Titans.
Ooh,
okay. Yeah, just because based off how his previous season went with the Jaguars, I think that we'll see how he does with Cam Ward, but unknown. That's why I have him that low.
Okay.
So I need to go over a few factors before I go over my list. First off, last year's production played a part of it. The next projecting for this year also plays a part of it, and who's their quarterback too. All those things play a factor here. I actually did have Tedero McMillan as my number one. I think he's just going to be the number one guy right away. Adam Thielen's too old. Xavier Legette is not really he's not really a guy yet. And maybe he will be. I don't know. Who knows? 31. I have Michael Pittman Jr. I mean, look, the Colts do not have a great wide receiver room. And if he's headlining, I mean, he's okay. But, and to be clear, these are all number one, so they're not bad players.
Yeah, I
but, Colts don't have a really good wide receiver room. Number 30, I also have Jaden Reed. Maybe Matthew Golden goes, maybe he doesn't. For now, I'm going to keep Jaden Reed there. 29. Honestly, I thought this guy underachieved a little bit. And, maybe because he ate his Wheaties, he'll jump up higher. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is 29 for me.
Ooh.
And then 28 is Khalil Shareef. Shakir. Sorry. Khalil Shakir. So, that's who I got right now.
Okay. That's solid.
Yeah.
Next. Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
All right. So my factors, what I took into account was last season production and what I project going forward. It's hard to project with rookies.
Yes.
So for McMillan, I didn't have him because he's a rookie. He hasn't done anything in the league yet.
Okay.
So my 32, I'm gonna start off with Jaden Reed.
Okay.
Crowded receiving core.
They have good depth. They just don't have a number one.
Yeah, they don't have a real number one. Maybe Golden becomes that. If you'd asked me this last season, I would have said maybe Christian Watson would have been number one.
Yeah, but he just was too injured this last year.
Yeah, so they have a real crowded room. We want to see who really jumps ahead during training camp in their receiving room. 31. This is a shocker. But he is the number one receiver for their team, and he didn't have a good season last year. And I think he's on a decline. I have Stephon Diggs.
That is totally fair. That is totally
in
fair.
my next tier, so that's fair. That's fair. And look, the off the field stuff is the stuff that worries me the most.
Yeah, I have him in my next. He honestly, out of the order that I made, he was honestly for me the hardest to place. But I'm not mad at that at all right there.
Nah, I don't.
He's going to be the number one catching footballs from Drake May, but I don't know if he's still got anything left. I don't know. Yeah. You want to see?
He's what, 32 now, 33?
Yeah. I don't think the off the field stuff has anything to do with it.
It doesn't help.
Yeah. 30. I have Adam Thielen. I thought Thielen was their number one receiver last year. When he played the Eagles, he was tough to defend when the Eagles played him for some reason. When Bryce Young came back off the bench, he was his number one target. I think Leggett could be number one. McMillan could be number one. They have a really nice young receiving core. We're going to see. But right now, just from production, I had Thielen at 30. 29, Khalil Shakir. Another receiving core that I don't know what's going on. I don't know who the number one is.
Because Keon Coleman was supposed to be that guy, but he had a really bad rookie year.
Yeah,
it wasn't that good.
Well, I mean, he's a rookie.
They just added this offseason Joshua Palmer from.
I don't really like Josh Palmer though. He's kind of like mid.
Yeah, you got to see what he give you, but that wide receiver, it all relies on 17. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
They had a great quarterback throwing the football.
Mm-hmm.
In 29, I had Chris Olave, injury prone, and he has the worst quarterback from my rankings last week throwing the football this season right now.
I mean, that's fair. But, like, when I think of Chris Olave, I think of him at his health. Like, if he's healthy, he's really good, though. Like,
well, I mean, he's the number one, and he didn't really play last year, so.
Well, I mean, health. You know, I'm projecting good health on these.
Okay, fair enough. So that's my first 5.
Okay, Earl.
Alrighty, my list, I kind of went off of projecting for the upcoming season with a little bit of what they did last year, but it's mainly for projection for this upcoming season. And I delivered this list as best as I could, especially for those who disagree with what my top 5 was. But
let the haters hate, Earl.
I could look. Me trying to go up against somebody with 2 subscribers and 1 video, I guess that's just not in my DNA.
Yo,
I'm allergic to that. But my list at 32, I have Panthers Tet McMillan.
Okay,
I think he can take that number 1 spot. I believe in Xavier Leggett. I think for him, he's gonna have to take a big jump. McMillan, he's got that big target ability. He's got that top talent. Him being the first round pick, they're gonna be feeding him the ball. So I can see McMillan becoming that number 1 there for the Panthers. 31, I have Josh Downs from the Indianapolis Colts. I actually got him over Pittman because I believe he has the most upside out of the mix. You can put him in the slot. You can play a little bit on the outside, but he's that guy that you can move around. He's one of those positional pieces, almost like on the chessboard, that you really can just move him around and he can make immediate impact. Number 30, I have Cardinals Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he will take that next step, but from what he did last season, it wasn't to what I expect. They were more of a run-first team. So we just got to see how Harrison does coming into his second year. Number 20,
they like to use their tight ends more, too.
That is a fact.
And also run the football.
Yeah,
True. True. 29, I have Calvin Ridley from the Titans. And 28, I have Jacoby Myers from the Raiders.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
He was the hardest one to place for me. Was Jacoby Myers?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, overall within that 5, I kind of shuffled around. I kind of did some coin toss and just see where they would place from that. So I tried to be equal, fair, and balanced.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers was a tough one. I actually had to go and look at his stats. He had a really good season last year.
Really good.
Yeah, he did.
And with poor quarterback play too. Like,
I'm gonna be honest, man. He been really solid these last couple years. If you've really been paying attention, he's kind of, he kind of get lost in that shuffle, especially being down there in Las Vegas. But he been solid though.
With some random quarterbacks
he got Geno there in Las
Vegas
now.
He definitely should be better with Geno.
They had Aiden O'Connell, who even knows?
Yeah,
getting 1,000 yards with Aiden O'Connell and whoever Gardner Minshew. Yeah, that's pro.
Yeah.
All right, Cheeze, we got 27 through 25 next.
Got you. All right, so at 27, you guys were a little lower on him than I was, but at 27, I went Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. should have a solid year this year. Bulked up in the offseason. I think now that, he's gotten his feet under him, getting a year under his belt, I think Marvin Harrison will be a lot better. So I went Marvin Harrison at 27. At 26, I went Michael Pittman Jr. I think Michael Pittman Jr. should have a bounce back year this year. The quarterback play with Anthony Richardson being injury prone it hasn't been the best, but I think Michael Pittman Jr. could have a bounce back year. last year, 69 receptions, 808 yards with 3 touchdowns. Could he crack 1,000? I don't know, but I think he'll have a solid bounce back year. And at 25, we just had a lengthy discussion about him. I went Stephon Diggs at 25.
Okay.
And the reason I went Stephon Diggs is because going to New England, fresh start, coming off that ACL. From the videos that we've seen from him, it looks like he's 100% from his ACL. I believe he's going to get a bulk of the targets over there, especially with a younger, Drake May. I think Stephon Diggs can have a solid year. We just got to wait and see. But I got him right now. I have him slated as number 25.
All right, Mal?
Yeah, so number 27, I have Michael Pittman Jr. We'll see how he does this year. But, pretty okay season last year. 800 yards is not bad. We'll see who starts week 1 for the Colts, if it's Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson.
More and more tenuous. Let me tell you, Mal, people are starting to say more and more Daniel Jones.
Yeah, and you know what? Listen, hey, if anyone's going to get Michael Pittman Jr. to an 1,000-yard season, it's Daniel Jones, guys. Come on,
happens,
let's be real.
I will, eat a salad on the podcast.
What?
You should be eating salad regardless.
I eat salad. Come on now.
I give credit to the coaches.
Yeah.
They got him to that point.
Absolutely.
No, you know what? I give credit to the head coach in Minnesota, Kevin O'Connor, because that's where.
Yeah, he took him.
Yeah.
He took him.
I'll say this real quick. Jump in. If Daniel Jones is starting week 1, the Colts got big problems.
You're not wrong.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think I've been think they had a problem. Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
I'm out on him. I'm sorry.
So,
okay.
Hot take: Colts will have the worst record, and they draft Archie Manning.
That could be a possibility.
That's a possibility.
It could work.
That could be
He's a sophomore, so if he comes out early,
he's a redshirt sophomore, so he has 3 years of college.
Wait, is he? I thought he was a freshman.
No, he redshirted.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, that'll be something. Now that you put that out there, that'll be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke's out here opening a can of worms. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
All right. So, Mal, you were at 27.
Yeah, so now I'm at 26, where I have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
I agree with Cheese. I think he's going to have a better year this year. I think he had, a little rough of a rookie season, but that's okay. Year 1, time to, get going. So I have him ranked 26. And then 25, I have Chris Olave. I'm a little higher on him than you guys just because, 2 seasons ago, he was running alongside numbers of Garrett Wilson. He's got a lot of talent. I think the injuries are a problem, and who's throwing him the ball is going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why I have him this low, but that's my little bit here.
Yeah, you guys are going to be mad when you find out where I put Chris Olave. 27, Stephon Diggs. Drake May is going to be better, so he might be okay. We'll see. Jacoby Myers, I feel bad putting him at 26 because I feel like he should be higher, but
he should be higher.
Yeah.
Just off statistics, he should be higher.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't the only one to have him this low, so. Jacoby Myers, 26. Should have a better year, should be higher by the end of the season. And then Rashee Rice, look, I know he has one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time throwing to him. He had a good rookie year. Second year kind of, not so great before, after the injury, obviously. I don't know. Rice, I know there was obviously one of the greatest of all time. His name is Rice, but I'm just not feeling it with him as being a true number 1. I feel like he's an elite number 2. But, it is what it is. So yeah, that's my 27 through 25. Maurice.
You got one more, right?
No, I did 25. Rice was 25.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, as long as Mahomes has Travis Kelce, they'll be fine.
Yep.
That's true.
That.
Number 1 target.
27, I have Michael Pittman Jr.
Okay.
Another case of who's throwing him the football. Didn't wow me his first year, but I do think he has some talent. I think he it's going to be tough in Indianapolis because their offense is kind of mediocre. But right now, I do have him as the number 1, so that's that. 26, I have DJ Moore.
Okay.
Now, I think DJ Moore.
Wow, I have him so much higher. Okay.
I think DJ Moore is a good receiver. I'm not like I mentioned last week.
You don't like Caleb Williams.
I don't like Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Caleb Williams last year had Odunze, Moore, and Keenan Allen.
Okay. To be fair, do you remember who his head coach was and his offensive coordinator was?
Eberflus.
Yeah. No offense, Earl. But like,
It's better defense anyway.
But no. Like, did you hear about the excerpts that he added to a book about quarterbacks? Like, nobody told him what to watch on tape. And
Caleb Williams.
Chicago. Yeah. Nobody told him. Like, they just said go watch tape. They didn't tell him what to watch.
I think this was more on Caleb though.
Yeah, I'm gonna
the
be
sacks were. The sacks were.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be honest.
It's more on him.
I think DJ Moore is definitely poised to have a better year. With you bringing in, what's my guy, offensive coordinator, Detroit?
Oh, Ben Johnson.
Johnson.
Bringing in Ben Johnson, I had a brain fart. My bad. With you bringing in Ben Johnson, and I think that offense is going to be a lot better. Last year, going into the season, I actually had Chicago as my sleeper team in the NFC. I didn't expect it to look the way that it did.
Well, I mean, 5 weeks in, he was on a good path. 5 weeks in.
If you just off of their offensive weapons alone, I just figured, come on, you got Swift in the backfield, you got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. They drafted my man from out of Washington, the wide receiver.
Odunze.
It's like, so I figured that, but I think they're not gonna be my sleeper this year, trust me. But I do believe that they'll be better though.
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson is a good mix.
I actually think Odunze is going to take over the number one receiver.
I mean, there's a chance.
That's not crazy.
I mean, DJ Moore is still really good though. I mean, yeah, fair enough. So you got DJ Moore at 26, you said?
Yep. At 25, I have Calvin Ridley.
Okay.
No reason to really go into that one. I think Calvin Ridley, since coming back from the suspension, he's been okay.
He's been okay. I mean, he had 1,000 yards though.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good point.
I mean, with Trevor Lawrence, who's basically Daniel Jones, but like Southern.
No, you're talking about Levis.
Daniel Jones is Southern.
But I mean, like,
snap, that's crazy.
AFC South. Oh, wait, so no, they're both in
So
the
is
AFC
Daniel
South.
Jones.
Oh no!
Both white Southern boys in the AFC South. Yeah.
Only one has, like, Daniel Jones refuses to grow out his beard, and he has like a magnificent beard, and Trevor Lawrence, I don't think can grow one.
Cheese. Lucas is a low key Daniel Jones fan.
I'm not
Low-key.
a low-key Daniel Jones fan. I'm a
Low-key.
low-key, high-key Daniel Jones hater.
I think it's math. I think you're fronting.
You think I'm fronting?
Yeah, I think you're fronting. I think
No,
you're going to get his
I am a
jersey next
low-key
year.
Justin Fields
Probably
fan.
got a tattoo of his name.
Oh, come on. For real? Be so for real.
I am being real.
Justin Fields.
Man,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't put him in. I don't know how far him and Daniel Jones is far from each other. Honestly,
No, they're not.
thank you.
I don't know how
Thank
far
you.
they are, bro.
Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
difference is that
Thank you.
Daniel Jones had structure and Justin Fields never did.
You think Daniel Jones has structure?
He had Daboll. Daboll's a much better coach than any
He
coach.
also played behind one of the worst.
Then Mike Tomlin? Mike Tomlin's a pretty good
Before
coach.
Tomlin, the first like 3 years of his 3-4 years of
With
his
Chicago.
career, he was stuck in Chicago.
Well, what was he
Daboll's
supposed
much
to do? That's
better
where he was
than
drafted.
any coach in Chicago has ever had since Ditka. Okay,
I give you that. I give you that one, but I still don't think they that far apart though.
well, okay.
I still don't either.
Yet to be determined.
All right.
More to
I'm done
come.
with mine.
All right. So and then Earl.
Alrighty. These three receivers, I think they'll move up on the list after this coming season. I have 27, I have Chris Olave. 26, I have Jaden Reed. And 25, I have DJ Moore.
Okay.
See, I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on what Moore can actually do. Doomsday, he's still wet behind the ears. So
I'm not sleeping on one.
In order for him to do what he needs to, immediate, you got both guys on each side. So basically, Doomsday, he's going to do his part, but DJ Moore, he's the X factor. So
All right.
I believe he's the number one, and I think he'll take that next step, but he'll also help at Doomsday as well.
I agree.
All right. Cheese, 24 through 21.
24 through 21. So at 24, you guys were a little low on my guy. But at 24, I went Khalil Shakir with the Bills. I think
Okay.
that as far as wide receivers go, I believe that him and Josh Allen have a great relationship. I think that's the guy that he looks for out of that slot. I don't think Keon Coleman. I was kind of a little down on him coming out of college just because I don't think he can get that much separation. I said they added Joshua Palmer, but I think Khalil Shakir is the guy on the outside that Josh Allen likes to look for. So I went with him at 24. At 23, I went Jacoby Myers with the Raiders. I think last year 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns, and that was with, like we said, playing with quarterbacks that, you know what I'm saying, probably shouldn't even been out there. Now you throw Geno in the mix. I believe that he'll have more opportunities, better offense. So I think he should, at least at bare minimum, keep that same level of productivity up. At 22, I went Calvin Ridley. I feel like if you can have 1,000 yards with 4 touchdowns with Will Levis, now you throw in a Cam Ward, who I believe as a rookie is light years better than Will Levis already. I think Calvin Ridley should be able to have a decent year this upcoming year, maybe better than what he did last year. And 21, I went my boy DJ Moore. I'm with my man. I think DJ Moore this year is going to have a bounce back year with Ben Johnson calling the plays. I think they're going to create better sets for him. And honestly, I think all around the offense in total will just look better. But I just remember at the beginning of last season, people had DJ Moore slated as a top 10 receiver. So I think he was dealt a bad card last year. I think this year he bounced back. So I got him at 21.
They traded for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I do want to say, who is your 23 again? You said it was
23, I had Jacoby Myers.
I'll just say this. The Patriots messed up by letting him go.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking on DJ Moore, he did go to Maryland University. Just one.
There you go.
That's true.
If you can't see in the very corner of Cheese's screen, you see a little Maryland flag there.
Yeah, that's my logo. Let me show y'all. That's my logo right there. But yeah, he went to Maryland.
Oh yeah, always shout out the logo.
Hey.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, Mal, you're up.
Yeah, so number 24, I had Stephon Diggs. I think that with new scenery, with Drake May, I think he'll get a lot of production in New England, so more to come. We'll see. I don't think he's the worst option for them. Okay, 23, I have Jacoby Myers. I think he had a really good season last year, and I think he has the potential to do more, but for right now, I thought this was a good spot for him. 22, I got DJ Moore. I have a lot of respect for DJ Moore. He got me like so many fantasy points 2 years ago. I was here for it. So I'm always going to have some love for DJ Moore. So his spot is based strictly off vibes. 21, I have Jerry Jeudy of the Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with the Browns, unknown quarterback situation right now, you know, that's a crowded quarterback room. You got Dylan Gabriel, you have Joe Flacco, you have Shador Sanders. Who's gonna win that?
Not mentioning Kenny Pickett at all. We all know.
No.
Crickets.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I have him ranked this low, because I do think Jerry Jeudy is a really good receiver, but quarterback situation's a little weird, so I had him at number 21.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, fair enough. So 24, Mal's gonna hate me for this. I got Zay Flowers at 24.
No, I don't hate you for it.
I think that he works for what Lamar Jackson's good at, but would he still be a number one on a lot of other teams? I'm not sure on that one.
No, that's not a crazy take at all.
No, and also Rashad Bateman had a nice year last year, so you know.
Like I feel like Flowers is very one-dimensional.
Yeah, he might go, and you never know. But
yeah. So and then 23, Courtland Sutton. You know, first really good year. I'm not super high on Courtland Sutton.
I'm not gonna lie, Lucas. Just going back real quick, I don't mean to cut you off. When you said that I was gonna hate you, I thought you were gonna have neighbors at 24, and I was about to log off this podcast.
That'd have been disrespectful.
I was
3
about
out of
to
the
log
4
off this
wide receivers
podcast.
in our division are in the top 10. Okay, just to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
So, semi-spoiler there. You'll be surprised who I left out of the top 10. But anyway,
I think I know.
I think mine is fair. I think mine is fair.
Yeah, I think mine's fair too.
Okay, so Let's see. Cortland Sutton at 23. Jerry Jeudy at 22. I mean, this was his first breakout year. And look, he's a really good deep threat. Who was throwing him bombs the majority of the season? A guy that was really good at throwing bombs, Jameis Winston. Okay, so, like, will that repeat? I don't know. There's a little just uncertainty there, along with the QB situation, as Mal said. I don't know if it was a 1-year wonder or not. And then 21, Calvin Ridley. The guy had over 1,000 yards with Trevor Lawrence as his QB, so like gotta give him credit there. So yeah, that's my 24 through 21.
All right. So my 24, this is a player that has a lot of talent, but had an underwhelming season last year and might have an underwhelming season this year. And based off of our crew here, the other three, they're not big fans of Aaron Rodgers. So 24 is DK Metcalf.
Ooh.
I'm here for it.
Nasty work. I like it, though. I like it. I like the high take. I like it.
Put on my gloves for that one. That was
Yes.
that wasn't
like that.
I don't think you're wrong. I have him higher, but I wouldn't be surprised.
One thing about this podcast, stand on business, guys. Everyone's got to stand on business.
I have him higher, but for me, was the hardest to place. But I have him a little bit higher, but that's not crazy to have him down.
No, it's not crazy. I think
I got him all the way up.
We're going to see what that offense in Pittsburgh does. I don't know, man. It can go really good or really, really bad. Yeah. All right, 23. I actually had Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
I think he's clearly their number one, just off talent. He had an injury-prone season last year. That whole team was just bad juju last year for the 49ers. I like Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's a better than average quarterback. He's not bad. I think Brandon Ayuk will bounce back. 22 and 21, two sophomore receivers that I am kind of high on more than a lot of others. I'm the last. I have him the highest, actually, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 22. I just think talent-wise, he has a lot of talent. He can easily be a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
Man, he got the Wheaties this summer. That's what he did.
Absolutely.
I truly believe that.
Peanut butter.
He has all the skills to be a top 5 receiver. His quarterback, I don't know.
We said if there was an average dual threat quarterback when we did quarterbacks last week, Cheese, that Kyler Murray would be the ultimate like picture of an average dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, Kyler. I think Kyler is a little middle of the package for me.
Yeah,
I understand his athleticism. He has the arm talent. It's not consistent enough for me.
Yeah.
That's my only thing with Kyler. I think if it was more consistent, then Kyler would be up there. But I agree with that. That's not a bad take at all.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
And 21.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, 21. I actually have Xavier Worthy. I know all you guys had Rashee Rice. I think Xavier Worthy's going to take that step forward.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we saw it in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. Xavier Worthy is a great deep ball threat.
Yeah.
They just have to throw him the ball. Like, he's one of the fastest, really the fastest player in the league. And I think, and Lucas has said it, he doesn't really think Rashee Rice is a number one. I think Xavier Worthy will take that step and be Mahomes' number one receiver this upcoming season.
So this past season, let me just say this. Xavier Worthy was not a wide receiver. He was an athlete. He does not have great – there's some technique that he needs to improve on. But more than that, I mean, like, can you do more? Like, he kind of reminds me of Deshaun Jackson, which is no slight. But was Deshaun the number one?
He scored pretty much most of the points for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like, he got behind the secondary.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, can he do more than just go for the deep ball? That's what I want to see.
I don't know. It's up to Andy Reid.
Man, that's a nice one tool, one trick.
Those are, and if you watch Patrick Mahomes throughout his career, he thrives with those type of guys. Tyreek Hill was the same kind of guy. Just give him somebody fast and that can do something when they get the ball in their hands, and that's what Xavier Worthy is.
Mm-hmm. All right,
I'm high on Worthy.
All right, Earl, what's your rank there?
And we're doing 24 to 21.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, Lucas, you copied me on 2 of them.
Oh, did I?
You
Okay.
monster. All right, I have 24 Zay Flowers.
Yep.
23 Cortland Sutton.
Hey.
Copycat monster.
I didn't even see this one. You sent me your QB one last time.
Yeah, I ain't send the receiver one.
So how did I cheat?
I don't know, man. You got the mind reader. 22, I have Khalil Shakir.
Okay.
And 21, I have Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Fair. No. I don't have him much higher than that. That's fair.
Yeah, I think where I had those guys placed, I think they'll move up on the list. It's just up to them just stepping up and just taking that next step. And I think JSN can do that.
JSN, the question is Sam Darnold going to turn back into a pumpkin, or is he going to stay as a
That's
carrot?
always the question. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You just got to have that glass click on and see
That was
what
my
happens.
question all last year. When I seen Minnesota, I said, I'm just waiting for it.
I mean, you saw it in the playoffs.
You knew they was going to go back to JJ McCarthy eventually. So
yeah,
that is true.
Yeah. All right. Was that are you done, Earl?
Yeah, that was 21. Yep.
All right. Cheese, 20 through 16. Let's roll it.
20 through 16. So at number 20, I went with DK Metcalf.
Okay.
I think DK Metcalf, we got to see what he do with Aaron Rodgers. To me, this may be honestly, if depending on how people rank Russell Wilson, this could possibly be the best quarterback DK Metcalf has played with. So we got to see what he do. You got to see what Mike Tomlin, how he cook this thing up. But I'm going to tell y'all this, and this is a hot take for y'all. And I put this on my TikTok, my YouTube a couple days ago. Mike Tomlin definitely should be on the hot seat this season.
I agree too.
Yeah, like eventually just having winning records shouldn't be enough. Like you got to find a way to make it at least past
Take
the
that
wild
next step.
rounds. Yeah, they're not doing that. But
and that fan base is used to winning, so they're gonna get loud.
And I mean, I understand he's been there for a long tenure, has winning, but eventually it's like, okay, when is enough? But right now we're gonna stick to receivers. I got DK at 20. At 19, I went Cortland Sutton. I think Cortland Sutton had a solid year. I got a lot of faith in what's my man? I'm losing names, but I have a lot of faith in Bo Nix. I love what Bo Nix did last year. I think Bo Nix has a better season this upcoming season. I think he should improve on what he did last year. Another year in Sean Payton's system. I think Cortland Sutton is going to be the guy. So I think he should at least, at bare minimum, stay where he's at or improve off of last season. At 18, I went Jerry Jeudy. Okay. Now, I agree with Mel with what she said about Jerry Jeudy. The only question mark going into it is the quarterback situation. Who's the quarterback? I believe right now it's more than likely going to be Joe Flacco. I don't know how the season ends. I don't know if he ends the season as a quarterback. I'm rooting for Shador to get out there. But Jerry Jeudy had a very solid year last year. Like, I don't think a lot of people paid attention because it was the Browns. But Jerry Jeudy had a solid year last year. 1,200 yards with 4 touchdowns. At 17, I went Zay Flowers, Baltimore. I think Zay Flowers is the number one receiver over there. I think him and Lamar have a great rapport with each other. I think Zay Flowers, with speed, the power, I think he knows how to get open in those zones. And I think, like I said, him and Lamar just have that great connection. I think outside of the 2 tight ends, I think Zay Flowers is honestly his favorite target on the outside. Now, we also got to remember they did add DeAndre Hopkins in the offseason, so we got to see how that whole thing lines up. But I went Zay Flowers at 17. And at number 16, I went Garrett Wilson, New York Jets.
Wow.
Garrett Wilson. I left him out of my top 15. I think the guys I had I just got to see Garrett Wilson be more consistent. Now, I understand the quarterback play hasn't been that good in New York. And again, they're going forward with Justin Fields. We got to see how that look. But I just think the people that I had in front of them, I just feel like they might be a little bit better. So I went Garrett Wilson at 16.
Okay.
Hey, Cheese, didn't Garrett Wilson play at Ohio State?
Yeah, he played at Ohio State.
And Justin Fields played at Ohio State?
Yeah, so you never... And
I think they're going to be all right.
And I think they played at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Yeah, so I think they may look like something.
We will see. We will see. All right. Mal, you're up next.
Yeah, 20, I had Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
Injury prone season. We'll see what happens this year. 19, DK Metcalf. Y'all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. Y'all know I'm going to leave it at that. 18, I had Cortland Sutton. I think Sutton is pretty solid for the Broncos. Another fantasy sleeper, honestly. He did good work. I like Cortland Sutton. I like what him and Bo Nix got going on, so I had him ranked relatively higher. Number 17, I have Mr. Zay Flowers. I agree with Cheeze. I think that him and Lamar have a great rapport. I would like to see him bulk up a little bit more, but for right now, have him as my number 17. And number 16, I have Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think now with Metcalf and Lockett gone, he'll get most of the targets. So this is the year that we'll really get to see what he's truly, truly made of and see if he could take that next step.
Okay.
That's
All
solid.
right. Solid. So this might be my first controversial one, but with rookies, I usually want to see them do it for more than 1 year. I got Loud McConkey here at 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And plus, he's not in a pass-friendly
crowd.
offense either, right?
I had him higher than that. I think he's really
Yeah,
good.
same.
I got him higher too.
I don't know, man. Look, maybe
he was a rookie and he was throwing...
Mal made me lose faith in Justin Herbert last week.
Well, I'll say this, Lucas, real quick.
Okay, don't be dramatic.
my
He's still a good
goodness.
quarterback.
Anyway, I don't know. I need to see more than 1 year of it for a rookie.
But you know what, though? He was a rookie last year, and he was kind of thrown into being the number one receiver.
And he did all right.
And he had a really high production season last year.
Well, I think the teens, you guys are going to hate me on the teens, so I'm just going to keep on going here. 19 is JSN.
Okay.
And then 18 is Chris Olave. I think he's better than his injuries allow him to be. 17, I have DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is really good. And 16, I got DK Metcalf.
Okay.
I think we're in that realm now where we're all pretty much saying the same players.
Yeah.
With the exception of McConkey. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So 20, I have Cortland Sutton. Pretty much what you guys been saying. Not really going to go much need to go into that one. 19, I have Jacoby Myers. I think he's really good.
I think he is too. I just feel yeah.
Yeah, I like Jacoby Myers. Put up a good season last year. 18, Zay Flowers.
Okay.
Zay Flowers is like a average man's Tyreek Hill. You know, a great value Tyreek Hill. I mean,
yeah, that's a nice way of saying it.
He needs to catch the ball. Yeah, I don't know what about his hands. His hands.
I think he's just
questionable.
He a food lion version of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey man, Food Lion got some good stuff from time to time. That's all I'm gonna say. Food Lion got some good stuff from time to time.
Absolutely.
17. I'm pretty much what she said. Jerry Jeudy. Even with that influx and whatever was going on in Cleveland in that quarterback situation, he still put up a lot of production last year. A lot of production, and he's good. He's good. And 16, Nick Jigba, JSN.
I'm not going to try to say that last name. That's why I just do the abbreviation.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Nick Jigba.
Cool. Nick Jigba. Yeah, cool.
I can't do it.
Gotcha. Another one like Myers that we just don't. Maybe because they're in Seattle, we just don't really pay attention to it. He's not on your fantasy team. In his second year, he was a Pro Bowler in his second year in the league. Yeah, he had 100 receptions, 1,130 yards receiving, and 6 touchdowns. High production.
Mm-hmm.
High production. Only his second year or two. So
he's going to be good.
I expect that number to go up even more. Now, Darnold, we'll see, but
I don't know.
We'll see about that.
But, if he doesn't do well, you know who we get? We get Jalen Milroe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh, you're high on Milroe?
I like to see him sit for a year.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm high on Milroe. I think Milroe's solid. Now, I think
it's a 50-50. I think if they develop him properly, he can be good.
His mechanics, now, if they can get his he has the athleticism already. That's there. If they can get his mechanics together, I think Milroe, I think he could be solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're sleeping on what he's capable of doing. They think he's just a running quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, if he started, he'd be the second best running quarterback in the NFL behind Lamar Jackson.
That's not crazy.
Yeah.
No, and I'm saying that as a Commanders fan, so I'm not being
I
biased.
forgot about Jaden. Nah. I forgot about Jaden.
Jaden's he's elusive, but he can get overpowered very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Acme Corporation.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at?
Earl.
Oh, it's my turn. Yay. All right. So 20, I have Stephon Diggs. 19, Drake London.
Ooh.
Wow.
18, controversial. I got Rasheed Rice.
You're going to hear about that one, Earl.
Absolutely. I'm ready for it. Bring
Receipts.
it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. 17, I have Jerry Jeudy. This is probably the best season I've seen him play, and I believe he can take that next step. Finally, that he gets that chance. So no doubt in my mind, if they're able to get that quarterback situation done in Cleveland, I think he's premier number one.
Did me, Earl, and Mal have Judy at 17?
I
did think so.
Oh, well, dang.
Nice.
Did you, Mal?
Yeah.
No, I had Judy at 21.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I had Judy at 22.
18. Okay.
And 16, I have Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
So we agree on that one.
Honestly, Earl's list has been the most different out of everybody. I'm here for it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
They sleeping on me now.
No.
Sleeping on
Yeah,
me.
listen. Usually, you're usually pretty spot on. So,
because I got called out last week, and for
Earl, don't let the haters get
I just
to you,
want
man.
you to
Look,
know,
my bad.
Earl, you're
2
good.
subscribers
You're
in
good.
one video. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Okay, I got it.
You gotta let that. That's what they do.
Yeah, you got to see some of the
You know
stuff I
what?
get.
If
I'm
they
social
fuels me
hate,
more.
that means they're listening, though, which means it's good for us.
Look, it fuels me more. I can't wait to go through 1 through 15.
All
It's gonna be
publicity is good
magnificent.
publicity, Earl.
Absolute cinema.
Shout out to
Speaking of 1 through 15, let's go 15 through 11. Cheese, let's go ahead and do that.
Alrighty. So at 15, I went Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is due for a big year. Now the question mark, of course, is Sam Darnold, but now I think a lot of people wasn't really paying too much attention to him, with DK over there and Tyler Lockett, but he was low-key eating. Now you move them out the way. I think the biggest question mark for him a lot of people had was he just strictly a slot guy, or could you move him all around the chessboard? Could he play the outside? I think this year he's going to show everybody that he is able to play the outside and also be able to maneuver in the slot. With Cooper Kupp over there, I don't know how much attention he'll take off him, but I think JSN is poised for a good year. So I went him at 15. At number 14, I went. Now, this might be controversial from this point on for me.
My bad. That's a blooper. I'll take it. I'll own that one. I got that. Go ahead, man. Sorry, 14.
So at 14, I went Lad McConkey with the Chargers. I think he had a big year last year. Piggyback off what my man Maurice said. I think he was thrown into the fire and basically answered right there on the call with being the number one target for Justin Herbert. I think he bounces back this year and has maybe a same year or a bigger year, but I like his role and I think he'll be decent next year. So I went him at 14. At 13, now I don't know how you guys may feel about this. Sorry, man. I went Malik Neighbors at 13. And I honestly, believe it or not, from 10 to 15 is where it kind of got a little sketchy for me because the only reason I didn't want to put Malik Neighbors and my next guy who I have borderline that top 10 is because I just got to see him do it again. I think Malik Neighbors will have a better year than he had last year. He went through a situation where I believe he had a concussion. He missed a couple of games, but I think even though he's not, I don't really care for him too much. I think having Russell Wilson at your quarterback position is better than having Daniel Jones. So I think Malik Neighbors will definitely have a better year this year, and it wouldn't surprise me if next year comes and you got four receivers in the NFCs in the top 10 conversation. So I went Malik Neighbors at 13. And at 12, I went Brian Thomas Jr. with the Jaguars. He's absolutely amazing. I think this year he's going to have a better year than last year. You add Travis Hunter. This right here for me is do or die season for Trevor Lawrence. So I definitely going to be trying to. They add Otten, the Bucks offensive coordinator. He's their new head coach. I think he's going to let Trevor Lawrence try to throw it all over the yard. So I definitely think Brian Thomas Jr. has a better year. So I have him at 13. I have him at 12. And number 11, I went Drake London. And I'm going to be honest, when I did my research on Drake London, and this is on my fault because I make sure I do my research. I didn't know that Drake London had the season that he had last year.
Yeah.
With that quarterback play, I'm going to be honest. I debated if I wanted to put him in my top 10, honestly.
I did.
I
did.
Yeah, I did too.
With that quarterback play, Kirk Cousins, and then, transitioning to Penix for Drake London, and especially the type of receiver he is, because he's not a burner. He's not nobody that can run past anybody. Just physical, finds ways to get open and things like that. Drake London, honestly, it wouldn't shock me if in the middle of the next season we're not talking about Drake London possibly being a top 7 receiver. So I got him slated at number 11 right now.
All right,
he's
Mal,
a
what
solid
you got?
receiver for sure.
Yeah, so at 15, I have Garrett Wilson. We'll see what happens with Justin Fields, but I just think that, with the Aaron Rodgers saga, it was a rough year for the Jets in total the past 2 years. So I'm giving him some grace because I will say this, I agree with Cheese on this. My 10 to 15, like all of these guys deserve to be in that top 10 conversation. The problem is that there's, a few more better than them. And there's literally, when I tell you guys, like the slightest of edge in my decisions, it wasn't easy. Like I just kind of, used different factors. So 15, I had Garrett Wilson. 14, I had Ladd McConkey. Fantastic year with the Chargers. I think it's only up from here with Justin Herbert and Harbaugh. We'll see how that goes with his scheme. But Ladd McConkey, great receiver. Literally no problems with the guy at all. 13, I had Brian Thomas Jr. Phenomenal. That LSU draft class was just great. Him, Neighbors, Jaden Daniels. Everyone got lucky with one of those guys.
Absolutely.
I only see better things coming for Brian Thomas Jr., even with Trevor Lawrence. Number 12, I had Drake London. I had Drake London there because, and I agree completely with what you guys are saying. I do think eventually we are going to have, and he probably is in the conversation of the top 10. Absolutely. Like I said, this was just a really tough decision for me based off the other guys that I ranked above him. And number 11, I had Malik Neighbors. I'm really excited to finally have a really solid wide receiver 1. Like I said, guys, I'm just happy to be here. For a long time, since 2014, when Odell left us, I haven't had a wide receiver 1 really. So it's good to have a really solid wide receiver 1 who looks good for the future for the Giants. He was a rookie. I do want to see it again, and then I can get him higher on my list. But that's my 15 through 11.
All right. Not bad. Me and you actually had one of the same. 15, this might be a hot take, but I think he's starting to slow down a little bit. Tyreek Hill. I think he started to slow down a little bit. Did not have the best of seasons last year. Injuries are starting to catch up. I don't know. I'm not believing in Miami. I think Miami might be one of those teams that we think is going to be good, but then ends up not being good.
Like I mentioned last week, it's all on the quarterback. Keep him healthy, man.
Yeah, I'm out on him.
Yeah.
With the Dolphins, period. But also, too, I've been out on Tua for a while, though.
All right. 14. I have him higher than you guys, and I think when healthy, he's arguably a top 10, but I have him at 14, Brandon Ayuk. I think, coming off the ACL, I think that he'll have something to prove. And look, he doesn't have Debo there anymore, so he should be getting even more touches, right?
Fair enough.
13. Me and Mal had the same one here, Brian Thomas. Look, very tempted to put him in the top 10. Gotta wait to see what happens at the quarterback, right?
I think that all of these guys, like I said, deserve to be in that conversation. It's just very little factors now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a hot take here, and you guys are going to be surprised, but I have Terry McLaurin here at 12.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa.
Look,
All right.
I
I'm
should be
shocked.
realistic here.
Hey.
The rest
Yeah, I get it.
Terry's lost a step athletically. Like he's not like half a step. He's lost half a step athletically. He doesn't have the burners that he used to. He's already 30. Like he's still going to be the number one. Let's be clear. That's not going to change. But like contract's not done. If there was no concern at all, and I'm not concerned about it getting done. It will get done, I'm sure. But the guys ahead of him, I think, are just a little bit more athletic than he is at this point. That's
okay.
That's
right.
kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I told you guys you would be surprised who was. I said there were 3 NFC East wide receivers in the top 10, and you'd be surprised who wasn't. So I
When
think
you
guys
said that, I kind of had an idea.
I am surprised.
I'm
Yeah.
interested.
So yeah,
I'm actually
and then number
interested
11,
on-
I think if used properly, which he has not for the past 2 years, but used properly, Garrett Wilson is easily a top 10, but I have him here at 11.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a tough one. That
Yeah.
depends on
Yeah,
how
I
you feel
think
about
that's-
Justin Fields.
Yeah, he was the one, like I will say, the biggest one that I had a really hard time placing.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, I think it was Earl who said it that they played in college together. So,
And
Or
when
was
I
it Cheese?
posted my top 10 list, I think I did it yesterday. I had a lot of people like advocating for Garrett Wilson. It was
Yeah.
kind of surprising to me. So
Mhm.
yeah,
I think he definitely has an argument to, depending on how this year goes, if he's in that top
Yeah.
10 talk.
I think
yeah.
on an elite team, and going back to Terry, I think look, Terry would be a number one on a lot of teams, but look, if you have a Super Bowl roster, he probably is your number 2.
That's not crazy.
That's not crazy. I get it.
That's kind of where I'm at that point. So anyway,
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
All
stuff.
right, so I'm next, and
Yep.
I think me and Mal have 3 of the same players in the same order.
Woo.
15, I have Garrett Wilson. Like I just said, it's up in the air what Justin Fields gives you. Just off the franchise alone, they've had bad luck with quarterbacks. Like I mentioned last week, their last good quarterback was Mark Sanchez.
And that's crazy.
That's
Like,
a long time ago.
was he even a good quarterback, or was
yes,
he
was,
just?
Lucas. We talked about this last week.
No,
Yes,
I don't agree.
he was
He went to
served-
literally went to 2
conference
AFC championships.
Yeah.
He
But
was
they-
carried by an
fumble.
elite defense.
But
He did have some all-time defenses, though.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Sanchez sat down.
14.
Said, hut, both of them.
14, nobody mentioned him yet. But I'm going to say Mike Evans at 14.
That's disrespectful.
No, it's
That's
not disrespectful.
disrespect.
I'm
It's
going by,
so
I'm going by
disrespectful.
production. I'm going by production. Last year, he had 74 receptions for 1,004 yards. And if you remember correctly, they had to put him on a field to get that 1,000 yards, too, at the end of the
That's
season.
real. That's real.
And he had
But-
11 touchdowns. And
but
he's older. He's older, too.
I get that. However, counter argument, he's the only guy since Jerry to have how many seasons with 1,000+ yards in a row?
Like I said, there was some empty stats at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Was
And
it?
Yes, it was.
Dang.
And when you
Okay.
talk about that, are we talking about just career stats, or we talking about going
Last season,
He
and
was
my
still the
projection
number
for
one
this
on his
season.
team last
Yeah,
year.
absolutely. Yeah, he is. He is.
Goodwin might be the number 1 receiver this year.
Mm,
I
I
disagree
don't
with
know.
Stay
that.
healthy though.
Nah, Mike Evans.
nah, still
Yeah.
Mike Evans.
Eh.
Mike Evans until his legs give out.
Well, production-wise, every receiver above him has either more catches or more yards or touchdowns. So, like we all said, 15 to 10 can go. It's a sliding scale. Sliding scale.
He also missed 3 games to a hamstring injury, so
Yeah.
That's the
That's-
part of being older.
that's true.
Uh,
Amen. Amen.
All right, 13. Like Mal, I got Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, so that's 3 of us that have Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay.
at 13.
Yeah, I do. He's really good. This is one of the players where I had to go look at the stats. I'm gonna keep that in mind when we do our fantasy draft. That's for sure.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, oh yeah. No, this is prep for our fantasy draft, which, by the way, listeners, will be a live episode on
Yes.
YouTube.
Just a
Okay.
little bit.
Yeah.
Just a
By
little
the way,
bit.
Cheese, you want to be a part of our fantasy league?
Oh, no problem, man. I'm already a part of one, but I don't mind joining another one.
Hey yo, let's
Nice.
go.
Bet.
Yeah.
12. I had Lad McConkey. I'm high on Lad McConkey.
Oh.
I mean, the guy put up great stats as a rookie. 82 receptions,
He did.
1,149 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns.
I will say the rookie receiving class of last year
Yes.
was great, and we all thought MHJ was going to be the top of that, but
Yeah.
a lot of people came. But hey, listen, and we'll talk about the other rookie that was like drafted 5th round a little bit later, but it was a great class.
Yeah, and
Solid.
yeah, and rookie receiver. Once again, I have Malik Neighbors at 11.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be a top 5 to 7 receiver in the league. I see the potential there. You finally got one now. Finally got one.
Guys, you have no idea how much this means to me. It's been a long time.
By the end of next year, the NFC East will have 4 receivers in the top 10.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So what you're saying is Terry's going to have even a better season next year.
Yeah, I think Terry. I'm way high on, and I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm really high on Terry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really high on Terry.
All right. That's my 15 to 11.
All right,
God.
Earl.
What has Earl got for us?
Oh, I not just 4. I think it's gonna be 5.
Oh
But,
gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Of course he does.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
he's talking about Devontae Smith, right?
Are you talking
Or
about
Deebo Samuel.
Talking about George Pickens?
I know. I'm just giving him grief. I'm just giving him grief.
Talking about
No, he's
George-
absolutely talking about Darius Slayton. That's what we're talking about.
No, I'm not. That's false. No way.
That's a funny joke there, Mal. That's a good
Lies.
one.
Fabricated. No way. Not gonna happen.
Fabricated.
Non-existent. Make believe. All right, my 15 through 11. 15, I have Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
14, I have DK Metcalf. 13, I have Tyreek Hill. 12, Lad McConkey. Dude is good. I watched him at Georgia.
Absolutely.
And 11, I have Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Mal, you got one.
So I'm actually higher on Malik Neighbors than everybody else. That is not
No,
something
when I
that
tell
I
you,
anticipated.
my 10 and 11 were very close. They were.
A couple of y'all had a.
Who said that I have Malik Neighbors at 10?
No.
you have
I'm
higher
just
than
saying
that?
my 10 and 11 were very close.
Okay.
I guess we'll find out after Cheese and Mal goes.
Okay.
That is true.
All right. Take it away, Cheese.
So what we doing? 10 through 5 or all
10 through 6.
10 through 6? Okay. So this right here, I struggle with this one because honestly, I believe that my number 10 could be my number 11. I believe my number 11 could be my number 10. But at number 10, I went Mike Evans. This was tough because I really felt I wanted to put Drake London there, but I went with Mike Evans. I do agree with Maurice on a lot of his opinion, though. I think a lot of those you could say were empty calorie or they force fed him to try to get him to that 1,000. But I still think when healthy, Mike Evans is one of the best receivers in the league. I just think, where he gives the Bucks the deep threat and just still finding ways to get open. I think he's still a top 10 guy. At number 9, I went Terry McLaurin. I'm high on Terry McLaurin. I like Terry McLaurin a lot. I think last year was his best season that we've seen from him. And now you got him, and right now he looks elite. You got him an elite guy in Jaden Daniels. I think Terry McLaurin could just keep going up. You throw Debo in the mix, that maybe could take a little bit of pressure off of him. And I just think Terry is one of those guys. Kind of and crazy. I feel like he's kind of a little slept on just because Washington hasn't been that good these last couple of years.
Yeah.
For a few years, and after last year, he showed guys that he's really one of them. So I got Terry at number 9. At number 8, and I agree with a lot of what you guys said. I still have him in my top 10, but I went Tyreek Hill there. But I definitely think Tyreek Hill could possibly be on the downside of his career. I think the speed is still there, and we know when Tyreek Hill is healthy and when it's hot outside, and just until it gets cold. But when it's hot outside, we know Tyreek can still put the burners on and, get past some defenses. So I still got him in my top 10, but it wouldn't shock me if we had this conversation later on and he's no longer in my top 10. But I have him number 8. At number 7, and I haven't heard y'all say this person's name yet, so I assume you guys are pretty high on him too. I got Nico Collins from the Houston Texans. I think last year his injury, he dealt with injury, but before that he was balling. I think he is CJ Stroud's number 1 guy. You get Diggs out the way, and then with Tank Dell having his injury problems, I think Nico Collins is going to definitely be on a higher trajectory next year and piggyback off what he did last year. He had 1,000 yards last year with 7 touchdowns. I think those numbers go up next season. And at number 6, I struggle with this one too with 5 and 6, but at number 6, I went Puka Nacua from the LA Rams. He dealt with injury last year as well too, but I think if you can get a healthy Puka Nacua, now you add Devontae Adams, so that's going to take pressure off of him. You still got Stafford back there, who I feel is a top 10 quarterback in this league. And I think Puka Nacua is one of those. He honestly could be top 5 depending on, what you like. But I got him at number 6.
So, Mal, go ahead.
Yeah, so Cheese, our list is near identical. So, number 10, I have Terry McLaurin. I gave Terry the edge over Neighbors because he's way more experienced. He had a very good season last year with Jaden Daniels, and I think that with his quarterback situation, the Giants situation is still very unknown. It all really depends. I think Terry's set to have like a very solid season, so he's a solid top 10. Number 9, I have Mike Evans. I'm higher on him. I think Mike Evans is Mr. Reliable for Tampa Bay. I also kind of grown to like him much more because I got to see him play live, and he's a really good athlete. So I think Mike Evans is definitely still in that top 10 conversation. Number 8, I had Tyreek Hill. I think the conversation, a few years ago may have been a lot different. I had him ranked very highly, but I think with his personal life, with the Dolphin situation, his career is on the downfall. I agree with you, Cheese. I think moving forward, that has a very strong possibility to get him out of my top 10.
Yeah.
Number 7, I have Nico Collins, fantastic athlete. With CJ Stroud, that connection is great. I'm very high on Nico Collins. I think this Texans team is going to be very good this year. So I put him up there based on the production that I think he would have. And number 6, Puka Nacua.
Oh, man, we rolling.
Yeah, we rolling. And I put Puka this high because I think, a few years ago, guys, we would have said, why would you put Puka Nacua over Devontae Adams? But I think that's clear now.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua is he's incredible. Where he was drafted, he was the picture-perfect definition of where you're drafted doesn't define you.
Absolutely.
He's in the conversation potentially to be a top 5 wide receiver. I'm very excited. I love watching him play. He's a lot of fun, but I couldn't give him the edge over the top 5 guys. So that's who I had at number 6.
All right. So I just want to clarify, 13 through 7 are interchangeable. Like there's very few things separating 13 through 7.
Yeah.
So number 10, I have Puka Nacua coming off an injury, having the share touches with Devontae Adams, who's a clear upgrade over. Oh gosh, what's the Cooper Rush?
Cup.
Cooper
Cup,
Rush.
sorry.
I'm dead.
Cooper Cup.
Cooper. Sorry, Cup. Anyway, yeah, no. So just we'll see how that goes. Number 9, Malik Neighbors. I think outside of like one bad catch where he didn't he could have won the game for the Giants against the Commanders in week 2 last year, or was it week 3? I can't remember. It was an early.
It was one of those.
Yeah, one of them. Look, he has a lot of good things going for him. Elite athleticism, can outperform whoever's throwing him the ball. I mean, he still had 1,000 yards despite missing 2 games and despite having Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito. I can't even remember the other 2 quarterbacks, but they weren't any good. Drew Lock and whatever his name is. I don't even remember the last one. Todd something maybe. I don't know.
Todd?
I don't know what his name was.
There was a fourth one?
Tim Boyle. There we go.
No, Tim Boyle was on the Giants. I don't recall.
Was he on the Giants?
I'm pretty sure it was just DeVito, Daniel Jones, and
no, you had a 4th
Drew Lock.
Pretty sure it was Tim Boyle. We'll look it up later.
I just remember those 3.
Okay, well, anyway.
All I know is a carousel. It was a mess.
Yeah,
whatever.
it was a mess. Mm-hmm. So, he still had, all those stats. Got to give it to him. Drake London, for all the reasons you guys said at 8. Mike Evans, the OG here. He will probably drop soon, but for now, I'm still giving the OG the respect he deserves. And then Nico Collins at 6. Nico Collins could very easily get back into the top 5. Actually, 6 and 5 were very floppy for me. I think Nico Collins' injury did play a factor there for me.
Yeah, we're all high on Nico Collins.
Yeah.
All right, 10. I got Tyreek Hill. Still dynamic player. He's kind of a one-trick pony. So when he loses that speed, he will drop considerably on his list. But for right now, still a game changer in the right situations. And so I have him at 10. 9, I had Terry McLaurin. I think just production wise, he deserves to be in the top 10. Yeah, Scary Terry he's a game changer on the field. And we're going to see how that changes this year with Debo because he now has a legitimate number 2 receiver. So that production could go down or it could go up. I don't know. We'll see.
I just told myself when I put Malik Neighbors ahead of Terry, if Malik Neighbors had my quarterback and Terry had their quarterbacks, would they still have the same production? The answer is no.
That's a great analogy right there. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great analogy right there.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. 8, I have Drake London. You already talked about Drake London. Great production, even with a rookie and Michael Penix coming in fairly early on in the season. He still put up great numbers. 7, Nico Collins. And 6, Puka Nacua.
Nice.
So I think we pretty much all have the same top 5, just maybe in a different order. So.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Earl, what you got?
Yep. Earl?
Like, my 10, I got a bunch of reliables. Starting with number 10, I have Brian Thomas Jr.
Ooh.
Number 9, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That's
wow.
Okay.
At 8?
I have 8.
Oh, you said
Puka
9.
Nacua.
Okay.
9, I have St. Brown. 8, I have Puka Nacua. 7, Terry McLaurin.
Oh, thank you.
And number 6, Nico Collins.
Wait a second. So who did you... Okay, I'm interested in Earl's top 5 now. All right, Cheeze.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, Cheeze, bring it home.
All right. So at number 5, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Huge Amon-Ra fan. I think just the things he can do, especially out of the slot. I think him and Jared Goff have a great rapport. I struggle with him and Puka Nacua, who I wanted to put in my top 5, but I just think Amon-Ra has been solid for Detroit. So I went with him at 5. Maurice, I don't know how much you're going to like this one.
No,
Number 4.
No, I'm cool with that.
At number 4, I went A.J. Brown. At number 4, I went A.J. Brown. I like A.J. Brown a lot. I'm an A.J. Brown guy.
Same.
Physicality, what he can do on the deep balls. You know, I just think A.J. Brown is a dog. It's just my top 3. I just didn't quite have him ahead of those guys. At number 3, I went my guy. I went CeeDee Lamb. And the reason why, and a lot of people have that argument, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb. The reason why I go CeeDee, take my Cowboy fanness out of it. The reason why I go CeeDee is because I just feel like you can do more with CeeDee than what you can do with AJ. I feel like you can line CeeDee up in the slot. You can play him on the outside. You even see them try to line CeeDee up in the backfield sometimes, just little trick plays. But that's why I went CeeDee. So I got CeeDee at number 3. At number 2, I went Jamar Chase. I think you could easily, some people could argue him number 1, number 2. I think we more than likely gonna have all of us gonna have the same top 2. It's just depending on where you have him. But I went Jamar Chase at number 2, dynamic receiver, can line him up anywhere, can do everything. And finish it off at number 1. I went Justin Jefferson. I know a lot of people.
Jay Jetta.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would say Jamar Chase after what he did last year. But my argument and pushback on that is, you know, look at the quarterback Jamar Chase has played with compared to what Justin Jefferson is playing with. He's still a very productive receiver. Also, you have T. Higgins over there with Jamar Chase, and I'm not taking nothing away from him. Jamar Chase is awesome, but I don't right now. I wouldn't give him over Justin Jefferson. So that's my top 5.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Mal.
Wow, this is crazy, Cheeze. Okay, so almost near identical again. Number 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Number 4, A.J. Brown. And when I tell you that these are very close, guys, it's really not, you know, it's very subjective. Number 3, CeeDee Lamb. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. And number 1, I had Jamar Chase. And Cheeze, you don't know this about me, this one hurt to put number 1 because I'm an honorary Ravens fan.
Okay.
So he's an up, but the reason I gave him number 1 was, and it was because I watched him in this specific Ravens game last year. He torched them.
Oh yeah, he
And
different.
when I tell you that Marlon Humphrey had a very good season last season, but literally could not control Jamar Chase for a single second.
He's a problem.
The chemistry
It was an
that he
understatement.
has, the chemistry that he has with Joe Burrow, how dynamic he is, how athletic he is, I had to give Jamar the win this year.
Yeah.
But him and JJ, it's not even.
It's 1A, 1B.
Yep.
It's 1A, 1B for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I actually have some differentiation here. Not too much, but enough to cause a little bit of commotion. Amron is number 5 for me. Number 4. And this is not because I hate the Cowboys, but I got CD here.
Okay.
Not surprised.
I got AJ at 3. No, because I remember at one point, I don't know if it was last season or the season before, we were talking about, or at least in my head, I was thinking about, is AJ Brown the MVP of the division? And I could never say that about CD Lamb at any point.
Oh.
Well,
So
you
that's-
said
What?
that CD took over. So
I do remember
Wait, what?
Luka saying that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's where I have that thought. Number
You
2,
said that
I
in
got Justin
23?
Jefferson, and I know you guys are. I know Cheese, you said you used Joe Burrow against him, but I'm going to use it for him because honestly, I think they're 1A, 1B, and quarterback play matters. So if Jamar Chase has a better quarterback, then yeah, I think he's number 1 on my list.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that.
All right, so my top 5. 5.
Mhm.
I have AJ Brown. So I'm not hating on
What?
Cheese at all. I have
That's-
AJ Brown.
Wow. Okay.
I think from a production standpoint, the 4 above him had a better season last year. This is
But
pretty
to
much,
be fair, he was injured for 3 or 4 games last year.
that is true. And when he was on the field, he had a stretch of 3 or 4 games where he was the difference maker.
Yeah.
I give you that. But production wise, it's just not even close. It's not even close. Let me real quick. I don't want to take up too much time here, but this one. Last year, AJ Brown had 13 games, 67 receiving yards for 1,079 yards and 7 touchdowns in 13 games. Now, if I go to CD Lamb, by the way, is my number 4.
Oh,
CD Lamb in 15 games had 101 receiving yards, 1,194 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns.
on a bum shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's CD Lamb had a better season last year, and also you have to take into account he has a really good number 2 in Devontae Smith, and we talked about this before. The Eagles have a lot of weapons; they got to spread the ball around. AJ is not going to get the premier number 1 receiving statistics, but we know he's a number 1. We know he's
Yeah.
dynamic.
Especially with Barkley back there as well too. Now you add that
Yeah.
into the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know AJ Brown is a difference maker at the wide receiver position. But
Yeah.
the 4 above him just have better production. So that's
All
what I
right.
went with. So I said number 4 was CD. Number 3, I think you guys have him weighted too low. Amon-Ra St. Brown is number 3. If I go by production, this dude's crazy. 17 games, 115 receptions, 1,263 yards receiving, 12 touchdowns. He had a better season than CD. So he should be number 3.
Yeah, that's
So-
not crazy.
Not crazy. Number 2, I have Justin Jefferson. Any other season, he would be number 1. Overall, if you had a fantasy draft for receivers, Justin Jefferson would probably go number 1. But last season, my number 1 was Jamar Chase. Triple Crown winner. He
Yeah.
was first in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. He was the best receiver in NFL last season. And if you go by Lucas' metric of quarterbacks, he has the better quarterback. He gained 800 yards after the catch last season. He was dynamic. He was the best receiver in football last season.
Monster.
Yeah.
Last season, he was the best football player, best receiver in the game. This season, I think it could continue. So I have Jamar Chase as my number 1.
All right, Earl, the moment we've all been waiting for, your top 5.
He ready too.
All right, let's
He-
get it. Let's finish this fight. All right. Number 5, I have Mike Evans. I got to give this man his flowers.
I love it.
And over the past couple of seasons, I've seen what this dude can do.
Maurice's face is sending me
I
right
had him
now
at
because he
15.
wants
Earl had him at 5. Hey, more power to him. I'm not.
I think he's kind of one of those unsung heroes where I don't think he's gotten the credit that he truly deserves, especially what he's been able to do to be that number 1. So I want to give him his flowers for that. All right, number 4, I have AJ Brown. Number 3, I have my boy CD.
Okay.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. My boy CD Lamb is top number 3. And 2, I have Jamar Chase. Dynamic receiver. And number 1, Jay Jetta, Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Where I went with my top 5, I wanted to make sure that I knew that these guys were reliable. They make immediate impacts when they need to. And CeeDee Lamb, you can move him all over the place on the field.
Yeah.
Wherever you need him to go. He can just take the top off the defense. He's the X factor. Jamar Chase can do the same thing. I've seen this guy through college do damage. He's doing it in the NFL as well. Same with his boy Justin Jefferson, doing damage. No matter who the quarterback is, lining it up, dealing damage. So that's my top 5.
Yeah, that's solid, man.
All right. I like it. I like everybody's. So we're going to breeze through the team news. There shouldn't be too much going on yet. Mal, anything with the Giants?
No, nothing besides, apparently CJ Gardner-Johnson put a hit out on Malik Neighbors. I don't know what that's about.
Weird.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I seen that earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what the truth is. Who knows? But that's just a weird beef.
Yeah,
Crazy work.
A lady friend of his kind of put that out there. I don't know if it's factual or not.
Yeah,
but it's
who
out
knows,
there.
man? But that's just some random beef that I didn't know existed. But all right.
And I hated
Alright.
that, man, because I like CJ Gardner-Johnson, honestly. I think CJ
Yeah.
Gardner-Johnson's a solid player.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like him too.
Well, by the time this episode comes out tomorrow, the Commanders will have announced and revealed their alternative jerseys. I'm excited about that.
Wow.
And there's
Finally.
yeah.
Are
That's
you going to
coming
be
out.
disappointed if it's a white jersey?
Look, as long as it looks like the old jersey, I don't like the current white jerseys. I think they're trash.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
I don't like the current white jerseys. So if they
You don't
look
like the black
anything close
uniforms
to
neither.
the old ones, then what?
Do you like the black uniforms
The
anymore
new ones? No.
at all?
I think
Nah.
the black. Honestly, I think the black right now probably is the best one.
Yeah,
Nah,
the
the
cleanest
helmets
ones.
are trash.
Yeah, but you just put me on to something. I didn't. That's something I'm gonna be looking out for. I didn't know they was
Yeah.
unveiling the
Yeah,
new.
they're dropping tomorrow, so that should be coming out. But besides that, there's been no traction on Terry. Some people are worried, some people aren't. There's rumors going around that they're not in a good place. I'm not worried about anything until we get to the first preseason game. That's the way I see it.
So I
Yes,
got
sir.
a question about that because I did on my last episode I dropped. I spoke on that. Should Commanders fans be worried? Of course, where I'm located is nothing but Commanders fans, so we talk about it all the time. My question to you is, are you comfortable with it, with him not being a part of training camp?
I would like a 30-year-old vet to come in and be a part of training camp because, that's how you get injured if you're not. But at the end of the day, if the guy needs to get his bag, then get your bag.
All right,
But
cool.
I don't think Adam Peters is going to let it get that far.
Yeah,
And, there have been other rumors saying that they're just hashing out the minute details of it, that they already have the money in the years. They're just trying to get the guarantees and the language right. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not reporting anything. These are just rumors that I've been hearing, so we'll see.
yeah.
Maurice, anything on the Eagles?
No, not much news. They announced tickets for the open practice they do every year, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
ours is already sold out, which I'm very disappointed about because I actually had the availability to go this year, and I'm just like, no, didn't have time.
Well, is it at the stadium?
No, it would have been no. Training camp is in Richmond, which is actually a doable trip for me.
Well, the Eagles have their open practice at Lincoln Financial Field, so they basically have the whole stadium. Tickets are like $10. It goes to, I'm pretty sure it goes to Autism Awareness, which is what Jeffrey Lurie's always been involved with. So we'll see. Might not be available for that one, which kind of sucks because I like going to it, but we'll see. We'll see. To be
Like I
continued.
said, I would like to go to the Richmond one. So if any of our former guests or fans have tickets, DM me.
I'll be on
DMs is open.
DMs is open, but just for Commanders tickets. That being said, Earl, Cowboys, anything?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
Cavante Turpin over this past
that's right.
weekend got arrested on 2 misdemeanor charges. One with possession of the green and illegally carrying a sealed weapon. Situation was kind of bad on his part, especially with what the team is currently trying to build. So more than likely he may get a suspension over that. But the only thing I can say is Turpin, you got to be better. Got some brewing with this team, some specials coming up. We want you there. Just got to keep your head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Be dynamic on the field, be dynamic off the field.
Yeah, and
I digress.
It's unfortunate. Right around the corner from training camp.
Facts.
One thing I can say though, and I ain't trying to, gloss over, but I think that means we should have a good season because every time somebody get in trouble in the off season, the Cowboys have a good season after that. So hopefully, the bad. Sometimes you gotta take the good with the bad.
Absolutely. But I can say some good news is that Dak was in the middle of a mass and he left to go get Turpin out of.
I thought he was
on
helping
bail.
out, and shout out to prayers to all the people that are dealing with the flooding in Texas.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No. Let's get through our social medias quickly. Maurice, you have a Cowboys question. I sent it to you.
Yes, you
Slack.
do. I have a couple Cowboys questions.
Oh, okay.
So let me get through them. First question from Buff Baby 38. That's
All right.
That's the name.
All right.
That's the name.
What did you think about this year Dallas Cowboys team from other Dallas Cowboys teams from the last 15 years? Anything stands out?
Whew. Yeah, that's a solid question from Buff Baby
Girl
38. Yep. One thing I can say about this team is a lot of question marks. I know there's some people sipping on the Kool-Aid. Really haven't seen anything yet. I'm dealing with the mystery of the team. But the only thing I can tell you right now is I believe this team, and this is for all Cowboy fans out there, this team is going to shock a lot of folks this season. And not many people are noticing what is happening. But they're going to keep sleeping on us. We're going to start creeping. And that's where I see it as. I think from the O-line, it's going to shock a lot of folks. The defensive line, I know a lot of hollering with the one techs and stuff. I believe this defensive line going to shock a lot of folks. Even the secondary. There's a lot of different spots on this team that I believe they're going to shock everybody this coming season. That's the best way to put it. I do know that I can say that there shouldn't be any nonsense, especially from the previous stuff with McCarthy, even with the previous stuff from Garrett and Phillips. So I think Schottenheimer, he's doing his part right now just to try to keep the team together, as well as just making sure that they understand what's at stake. And if that means bringing some of the previous champs from Dallas, vets in there to show the young guys the way, so be it. But with that being said, I think this team is going to shock a lot of folks this season.
Yeah. Anything, Cheese?
Yeah, for me, I think the leadership. I think from a lot of things that I've heard coming from guys like Dak, coming from guys like Micah showing up still to OTAs and things of that nature, minicamp, even though he's in the current contract dispute with the Joneses. I'm loving what I'm hearing from Shoddy. I know, like my man said, I think it's a question. It's a big question mark. There's a lot of question marks because you basically have a whole new coaching staff. You don't know what you're going to get from the running game. You don't know how the offensive line is going to look. The secondary, to me, is a question mark. But I think this team, I just think that the confidence, I love what I'm hearing from Shoddy. He honestly, because I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with y'all. After last season, I was real frustrated. Like, I felt like they needed to do something. And I wasn't too excited with the hire until I started to hear him talk, and the things I heard him saying, I like it a lot. So I just think for me, the biggest difference that I see is the leadership. I think a lot of guys are trying to, fill that void and take those roles. And I like what I'm seeing. So I agree. I think we're going to shock a lot of people this year.
Okay. Second question, Jack Rabbit Dubs. Do you believe in the Dallas Cowboys running back room? And is there a sleeper at that position?
You want to go, bro? Or you want me to go?
Oh, you can rock it.
For me, my confidence level 1 through 10, I would probably have it at about a 5 in the middle.
Okay.
But my sleeper, and a lot of people, I don't know how they're going to agree with this. My sleeper is Miles Sanders, though. From the things that I've been hearing about Miles Sanders, I think that he kind of was overlooked in Carolina last year. A lot of people say he didn't do too much, but you also have to remember that Carolina wasn't very good last year, and you also had Chuba Hubbard over there, who's a premier back, who's one of a top back, premier backs in this league. I think Miles Sanders is going to be that sleeper. I think Miles Sanders could possibly make this team. I can't wait to see what we get out of Blue from Texas. I can't wait to see, how Maffa looks from Clemson. And I think this running back room could be serviceable. I put it like that. I'm not even going to give it too much. I think they could be serviceable.
Okay, I respect that. I'm going to give it about a 5.5 out of 10. And I'm to the point now, I think they're going to, with the assurance on the offensive line, with them taking that next step, I think that'll really help out the running back room. I really believe the X factor for that is going to be Clayton Adams. I think he's going to make sure that line is going to be playing bully ball.
Yeah.
My sleeper, I actually have 2 sleepers. I got Miles Sanders and Deuce Vaughn. The situation I have with Miles Sanders is that I think he just didn't fit well in Carolina. And I think he needed a new change of scenery and more of a rejuvenation to make it known that he's not that running back that just fell off. So I believe he's definitely one that is definitely going to try to make that running back 1 spot. And then Deuce Vaughn, people are just sleeping on this dude just because of his size. He's got a guy, Connor Riley, that's in there to work with the offensive line as well. He played at Kansas State. Cooper Beebe played at Kansas State. So he knows what Deuce Vaughn can bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I think for them, they're really sleeping on this dude, especially with Jadon Blue being the highlight guy. I think with the whole situation with Turpin, don't know how long the suspension going to be. I think that's where you're going to see more Deuce Vaughn out there showing what he's capable of doing, because he can definitely be an immediate impact guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got 2 more questions. One from Marshmallow75. His question is Joe Milton III the successor after Dak Prescott hangs up the cleats?
I think that's kind of tough to say right now. I think I think Joe Milton. I think he's another quarterback that he has the attributes. We know he can throw it 80 yards. We know that he can do special things when he's out there. But I also think he's someone that needs to develop. I think sitting behind Dak is going to be good for him, and I don't think people should try to speed up that process. I think allow him to sit behind Dak, allow him to learn. Get his mechanics together, work on that accuracy. And I think we possibly could look at him being the successor. But if we're talking as of right now, I would say I think that's still to be determined.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. This is just Milton's first time with the Cowboys. He definitely's got to sit under Dak Prescott. And for all I know, Dak Prescott said that he's fully healthy. We just got to see how that plays out. But Milton, if he's able to learn and understand, he's got high upside. He's an athletic dude. Big quarterback, very physical and athletic, but he still has to learn. So it's a question mark on that one for right now.
All right, and our last question comes from Facebook. Instagram. Excuse me. Shout out 3 Guys, 6 Balls, and NFL podcast. Shout you guys out. What role do you think Jaden Blue plays in the offense his rookie season?
I think he's going to be that lightning. I think that they're not going to, because my question mark with him is he going to be able to run between the tackles? I know in Texas last year he He has some issue holding on to the. He has some issues holding on to the ball. So my question for him is going to be, can he run between the tackles on those third and shorts and, down and distances, things of that nature. So I think his role for me, I think they're going to kind of put him in that Tony Pollard role when you had him and Zeke back there. And I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be Miles Sanders. I don't know if it's going to be Maffa. I don't know if it's going to be my man who they picked up from Denver. I can't think of his name right now.
Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams. I don't know if it's going to be him, but I think they're going to let one of those guys do that heavy lifting, and Blue is going to be that guy who comes in once the defense is kind of worn down and he could take the top off the defense. So that's the role I see for him in his rookie season.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I also believe he'll be more of the pass catching back out the backfield, definitely through the seams. I think he's going to be that guy till he's able to fully understand running in between the tackles. He definitely got to work on his hands on securing the football. I know he had some previous fumbles. He's a home run guy. I think he'll be a Tony Pollard role as well, what Cheese said. But I think for him, I think he's going to be more of the pass catching back.
Gotcha. All right, so we can move on.
Yeah, Earl, it's your time.
All right, it's time for Who's That Football Player? Man, I'm too tired to come up with something crazy today. This football player played with the Philadelphia Eagles back in the 1991 season, my birth year. 4 interceptions. This player had 4 interceptions, 1 touchdown, an 84-yarder touchdown, 15 pass deflections. What is this? 1 FMB? What was that? 1
fumble? FNB.
Is where you put fumble recovery. Is what you meant?
Probably meant fumble recovery. Oh,
Gotcha.
And the season's wrong. I did not fix the season from the previous time.
Trying to trick you.
Not on purpose. No, it was the 1999 season.
99?
Yes.
That's a whole generation.
God,
whole
Lucas. Dang. Okay.
I'm surprised that Maurice didn't catch me on it, because he's usually good at catching me when I have
He
typos
talked
like
about
that.
it, but I didn't see that.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so it's 1999 season?
Yeah, it's 1999.
Okay, 1999 season. Or like it's 1999. All right, so after the 1 fumble recovery, this player had 38 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, career awards, 2-time Pro Bowler. Cheese, Mal, myself. Who's that football player?
You said he played for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yes.
1999.
Trying to think. 1999 season.
Yeah, I don't know this one. I'm also losing steam, so my brain cells aren't working.
Yeah, it's getting late, guys. It's like 11:28.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Trotta, okay.
I'm going to be real with you. I really don't have an exact answer for this.
Did we stump Earl? Oh my gosh, we stumped Earl.
Yeah, give us an answer, Earl.
Thinking Trotter, but I think it was a corner.
You may or may not be right.
Then it dawned on me, Jeremiah Trotter. I think it's Jeremiah Trotter. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I was thinking Trotter as well, because when I looked at it, it said 91, and I also know that
my
defense.
bad, and nobody caught me on
Smalls.
it.
But,
it was late at night when I did it. Okay, it was like 11 o'clock at night. Cut me some slack.
It was a master plan to stump Earl. Great job, Lucas. Great job. Great job.
Maurice came up with this one. I didn't. Because I told him to do the other person with the same name.
Oh, Lucas.
He's not going to get it.
Oh.
He's not going to get it.
Yeah.
And you ruined the one for me the other week, so this is payback.
Oh.
See, how is that a mess up of a payback? You can't get your stats right, man. You're supposed to be the stat nerd. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trotter. I may be wrong, but it is what it is. I'm human.
That's your final answer, Earl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on. Mal hasn't gone.
She didn't know.
I have no idea, and quite
okay.
honestly, I can't even think about it right now.
I'll say this.
Sorry, guys.
When I came up with this person's name, Lucas said to me, "This is too easy for Earl, Maurice. What were you thinking coming up with this name?"
It's true. I did. Because honestly, you and Cheese should have gotten this.
Yeah, the person is Al Harris.
Ooh,
Al Harris.
That's what he got.
Now,
this.
here's the funny thing. There was another Al Harris who was a linebacker that played for the Eagles
Al
in the
Harris.
80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shame on
he
you
was
two. Shame.
Okay.
Look, man, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yes, and he was
first.
a Dallas Cowboys coordinator.
But still, how would I know he played with the
I'm gonna be
opposition
honest
like
with
that?
you. This might be that stumped me. I ain't know Al Harris played for the Eagles.
He played for the
that's-
Eagles for the first 5 years of his career.
Okay. You know, I'm
Dang, I
used to-
remember him at Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm used to Green Bay Al Harris. I'm used to Green Bay with the long dreads. That's the Al Harris. So y'all
Good
got
job, Maurice. Good job. You got me. I'm human.
I honestly thought it was too easy. Okay.
And I get some and I miss some. Hey, I'm human. So
All right, Mal.
let's go to
trivia.
that trivia.
Poll question.
Oh yes,
Bet I
poll
get that
question.
one right.
Yes.
How many wins will the New York Giants have next season? 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 9 plus. Most people voted 7 to 9. I'm shocked about that. Schedule's tough. Big things have to happen, but we'll see. More to come.
I think 7 to 9 is possible.
I would say 4 to 6. I think that defensive line is going to be one of the best in the league.
That's why I'm giving them a chance at 7 wins.
Whoever made the schedule must have had beef with a Giants fan or something. I don't know. Because they
Might
did
be
y'all
something
dirty.
enough.
beef with the
They just
Cowboys
wanted you
on our
guys to
schedule.
clean house. That's what they really wanted you guys to do. All right, so
They want Archie in New York.
all right, so this is a pretty good trivia. You may or may not get it. We'll see. I know at least one person on social media got this right. So during the Super Bowl era, which Washington Redskins / Commanders QB has the most interceptions in a single season with 22?
Kirk
Now, if
Cousins.
this was non-Super Bowl era, the answer would have been Norm Snead, who also played for the Eagles and the Giants.
Did you give a year? You didn't give a year.
No, I'm not giving you a year.
Not pulling that again, Maurice.
You
I
said he also
don't give a year. I just gave you the total number of interceptions, which is 22.
Is it Jay
Damn.
Schroeder?
Jeez, who you got?
you said he played for the Eagles and the Giants.
No. I said Norm Snead would have been the correct answer if it was
Okay.
not Super Bowl.
You said in the Super Bowl era.
Yeah, during the Super Bowl era.
During the Super Bowl era, I'm gonna throw a crack. I'm gonna say Mark Brunell.
You say Mark Brunell. Okay. Earl.
All right, I'm gonna go Jay Schroeder because second is Sam Howell with 21.
Okay.
I was going to
Mal?
say Sam Howell.
That's a good one. I didn't even think of Sam Howell.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So,
Was it
Earl
Schroeder?
Maurice, you are correct.
High five, yeah.
Jay Schroeder with 22. Sam Howell had 21. Close. Jay Schroeder is tied for third with Norm Snead on 2 separate seasons. And Sammy Bogg was the only other player besides Norm Snead ahead of him.
Okay.
But yeah, Sam Howell. Then to answer your question, Mark Brunell, he's not even in the top
I
25.
just threw that out
That's
there.
crazy. That's
Donovan
crazy.
Mitchell. I mean, Donovan McNabb had more interceptions in a single season than.
Dang.
What an awful signing.
Yeah, I know. I know. Don't.
Oh, you also want to know what else is awful? This is a little mini rant, Maurice. Where I was going from the Who's That Football Player with 91, I wanted to say how good that defense was for you guys. But then it brought to my attention, I was like, why you let the opposition win the Super Bowl that year, man?
Oh, the Raiders and the Redskins.
Yeah, why you let that happen?
Well, that was the Eagles. That was the Eagles in the late '80s, early '90s. They were always like
91, that defense was crazy.
but they were in the NFC beasts. I mean, you got the Giants, the Redskins, and then the Cowboys came along.
Guys.
Yeah.
I love this conversation, but we are an hour and 44 minutes in, and it is
Yeah, I just need to get it out the
11:34.
way. I was
It
just
is
like,
time
man,
for us to wrap things up.
I gotta live with this.
Lucas is
91.
cutting it off.
I'm putting my foot down as team captain here and in saying that we need to wrap things up. So whoever wants to go, please go. And thanks again, Cheeze, for joining us.
Yeah, I was just about to say
for
that.
our
thank you.
100th episode.
Woo!
Yeah.
100th episode.
I just
you
want to
gonna
say
say?
before I go, man, like I said, I appreciate y'all for having me on my first time featuring on any other podcast. So
We're glad you chose us to do it with.
yeah, I
Yeah, it was an
appreciate
honor,
y'all
man.
for inviting me on. And anytime you guys want me back, I'll be honored to come back on and join you guys, man.
Awesome. And just
Sounds
tell the
good.
people where they can find you again.
Yeah, so on Instagram, you can find me at Chatting With Cheeze Pod. On TikTok, you can also find me at Chatting With Cheeze Pod. On YouTube, it's just Chatting With Cheeze. I'm not going to put my Twitter out there because I got to get back active on it. But so those are the main three right now. You can find me on there. I'm going to follow you guys on Instagram, and, you guys do the same and check me out.
Oh, will do.
Absolutely.
We'll do. Yep. All
Now-
right.
now,
I'm
you wanna
going
get
to
out,
point.
Sean?
Yes.
Yeah, I could do it. Yeah. So, Cheeze, thank you again so much for coming on. We loved having you. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys follow Chatting With Cheeze. And make sure you also follow us on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, 14 Rings and NFC East Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube at 14 Rings and NFC East Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you later. Bye, y'all.
Adios.
Blessings.
Thank you for 100 episodes and 100 more.
100 more.
Appreciate it.
Here.
Yeah.